They expected him to break. They expected him to crumble. They expected the black man who carried the company on his back to walk out quietly while the world watched him lose everything. But what the leadership of Aurora Tech didn't expect was that someone far more powerful was watching. Someone they desperately needed. Someone who would not stay silent. A woman whose name alone could change the fate of an entire corporation. And she was walking toward the chaos with ice in her eyes and billions at her disposal. This is how an entire leadership team tried to erase one man, and how a billionaire CEO rewrote their destiny. Silicon Valley, home of innovation, lightning-fast deals, and boardrooms where reputations shift in seconds. But on the 47th floor of Aurora Tech headquarters, a storm was brewing. A storm that would expose corruption, prejudice, and the dangerous illusion of untouchable power. And at the center of it all stood Malik Carter, a brilliant black financial strategist known for saving companies others thought were beyond saving. And Genevieve Hartman, the elusive white billionaire CEO of Hartman Holdings, a woman with a reputation for striking deals that shaped entire industries. They had met only once, and yet fate was about to tie them together in a way neither expected. Malik Carter always knew the room shifted when he entered, some with respect, some with quiet resentment. But no shift had ever compared to the one he felt the moment Ethan Sloan, chairman of Aurora Tech, raised his hand for silence in the middle of a board-wide live-stream meeting. Dozens of employees lined the glass railings, watching from upper floors. Phones were out. The cameras rolled. Everyone sensed something was wrong. Ethan stood, lips tight, voice sharp. "Malik Carter," he announced loudly. "Effective immediately, your contract with Aurora Tech is terminated." Gasps exploded through the room. Malik froze. No explanation. No warning. No closed-door conversation. Just the spectacle. Ethan stepped closer, smirking as if he'd planned this moment for months. "We need faces that represent the spirit of Aurora Tech. People who understand our vision. People who fit." Every employee heard exactly what he meant. He didn't bother to hide it. Executives behind him chuckled into their hands. Malik stood tall, expression calm, chest steady. He refused to give Ethan the performance he wanted. But that wasn't enough for the chairman. He reached down and snatched Malik's access badge, ripping it from the lanyard. Then, in full view of every employee and every streaming device watching, he tossed it into the trash bin beside the conference table. "That's where that belongs," Ethan said, loud enough for the microphones to catch. "Pack your box. Security will escort you out like all the other mismatches." Phones trembled in employees' hands. Comments flooded live stream chats. Journalists watching from the press balcony whispered to one another. Malik didn't move. Anger flickered in his eyes, but he held his ground. "You're making a mistake," he said quietly. Ethan grinned. "The mistake was hiring you." Security stepped forward. Employees looked away in shame. The board tried not to laugh. Someone recorded up close, zooming in on Malik's face, eager for a headline. Ethan raised his hand. "Escort him." But Malik's calm was not fear. It was a calculation. Because minutes before this public spectacle, Malik had sent a single message to someone he never expected to hear back from again. "If anything happens today, activate Plan Hartman." He didn't know if she'd read it. He didn't know if she'd care. But she did. The glass doors toward the elevators slid open with a sharp hiss. Gasps rippled across the trading floor. Because walking into the room, flanked by 2 senior attorneys and 3 compliance officers, was Genevieve Hartman, billionaire CEO, investor, and one of the most powerful businesswomen in the world. Aurora Tech executives flinched as if a ghost had entered the building. She was dressed in a cream pantsuit, diamond-cut steel eyes fixed straight ahead, her presence slicing through the tension like a blade. Every employee recognized her. Ethan's smirk collapsed. His face drained of color. "Ms. Hartman," he stuttered, stepping back. But she walked right past him and stopped directly in front of Malik. "Mr. Carter," she said, voice steady, authoritative. "I received your message." Malik exhaled slowly. He hadn't expected her to come in person. Genevieve turned to face the leadership team. "Before any further action is taken," she announced, "Aurora Tech is now under temporary operational review by Hartman Holdings." Shock burst across the room. Ethan sputtered. "That's impossible. You have no jurisdiction." She raised a single perfectly manicured finger. "I do when your company signed a dependency contract last quarter," she said. "You accepted Hartman Holdings' emergency capital to prevent a collapse. That contract gives me authority to investigate leadership conduct." Employees whispered furiously. The board looked petrified. Genevieve stepped toward Ethan, voice cold. "And what I just witnessed qualifies as grounds for full suspension of authority." Genevieve nodded at her legal chief, Ava Walsh, who opened a folder thick with paperwork. "These," Genevieve announced, "are the reports Malik Carter has been compiling for 6 months. Evidence of internal discrimination, manipulated financial spreadsheets, retaliation, and the funneling of stock privileges to board members." Every board member stiffened. Malik's voice finally rose. "You tried to use me as a shield," he said to Ethan, "then a scapegoat. But I documented everything." Security guards stopped moving. Employees' eyes widened. Genevieve continued. "These findings were submitted to my office before any public announcement today. And because Hartman Holdings has partial ownership over Aurora Tech's restructuring division, we have the authority to act." A compliance officer began distributing sealed notices. One by one, executives turned pale as they opened them. Suspensions, term removals, federal audits. Ethan snatched his notice. "This is outrageous. You can't strip an entire leadership team." Genevieve stepped closer. "You staged the public shaming of the very man who saved this company's financial future," she said. "And you did it during a live board meeting. That alone triggers an ethics violation severe enough to freeze your powers." Employees clapped. Then more. The sound spread like a wave. Ethan turned red. "You're doing this because of him," he shouted. "He's nothing but—" Genevieve's stare silenced him instantly. "Finish that sentence," she warned softly, "and every camera here will record it." He swallowed the words. Ava Walsh gestured to security. "Please escort the suspended board to the compliance wing for questioning." Security guards did not hesitate. The same guards who were instructed to remove Malik now surrounded the leadership team instead. Executives protested. Some cried. Some demanded lawyers. Ethan struggled the hardest. "You can't remove us. I am the chairman." Genevieve spoke without looking at him. "Not anymore." Ava delivered the final blow. Effective immediately, Ethan Sloan, you are suspended pending investigation for corporate misconduct and breach of fiduciary duty. Ethan's breath caught. Genevieve turned to Malik. "Mr. Carter," she said, "you will accompany me upstairs. We have decisions to make." He nodded, still processing the avalanche of justice unfolding around him. Employees clapped louder. The sound filled the entire building. A few analysts cried, happy tears. A handful hugged each other. One whispered about time. Genevieve escorted Malik to the executive suite. The same suite Ethan planned to ban him from permanently. She pushed open the glass door. Malik's badge, discarded cruelly earlier, still lay in the trash bin near the entrance. Genevieve reached in, picked it up, and placed it into Malik's hand. "Put it back where it belongs," she said. Malik clipped it onto his shirt. She sat on the edge of the desk, crossing her arms. "You warned me months ago," she said. "I didn't realize how deep the misconduct went." "You believe me," Malik said quietly. "That's more than most." She held his gaze. "You're one of the brightest strategists I've seen in years," she said. "Aurora Tech doesn't deserve you, but it needs you." A pause, a meaningful one. "Then, I'm appointing you interim chief strategy officer during the investigation, with full authority to restructure operations." Malik's breath caught. "That's long overdue," she cut in. Malik stepped back, overwhelmed for a moment. "Why?" he asked. "Why go this far? You could have sent anyone else." Genevieve studied him for a long, quiet second. "Because people like Ethan rely on silence," she said. "And because men like you deserve rooms where your brilliance is not a threat, but an asset." Their eyes met. Not romantically, not yet, but with undeniable respect and a spark of something deeper. Something that felt like a possibility. Hours later, Malik and Genevieve walked back onto the floor together. Employees rose to their feet. The applause was thunderous. Malik raised his hand. "Thank you," he said, voice steady. "But this is just the beginning." He turned to face the entire staff. "Let today be a reminder. No one is disposable. No one should live in fear of being used, silenced, or pushed aside. We rebuild this company with integrity. We rise together, or we don't rise at all." Genevieve smiled, proud. A technician whispered he should have been running this place years ago. And for the first time since stepping into Aurora Tech, Malik felt seen. Not tolerated, not tokenized. Seen. If this story shocked you, stay with us. Because power shifts fast. Truth hits harder than humiliation. And dignity always rises in the end. Which moment stunned you the most? Drop your reaction in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to Melanin Chronicles for more high-impact stories where justice takes center stage and courage refuses to stay quiet. Your engagement helps these stories reach millions.